Hey, Bob and Sheri, Max, Doc, and Lamar. It's Annie from Forsyth, Georgia. I had to call because I was listening to one of your podcasts on the way home from last week, and I almost had a panic attack. I'm just going to be honest because I don't know how this slipped my mind, but I forgot about cicadas, sort of. And now I am terrified because I remember very well 13 years ago in central Georgia when we had cicadas, and it was a nightmare, a horror movie. They were everywhere. You walked on them, they got in your hair, they were all over the place. And the sound is just, it is like a horror movie. So now on my way home, after a day at work, I'm like, oh great, now what am I going to do? I'm going to have to escape from the cicadas. So I call my husband and I'm like panicking, like, I've got to leave. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I cannot deal with the cicadas. I'm going to have to go somewhere. He's like, where are you going to go? I'm like, I have no idea. So I need your help, guys. We need some kind of cicada, escape plan where we can, like a resort where we can go and stay while the cicadas are down here and then, go back home afterwards. But I don't know. I just don't think I can do it. It really was a horror movie to me. And on top of that, my daughter, who's majoring in forensic entomology, just got a cicada tattoo. She's carrying me as age. I'm like, so you're going to have a cicada on your body for the rest of your life? I wouldn't even want to look at a cicada for 2 seconds. Anyway, I am terrified. So if you have any suggestions of how to escape the cicadas in central Georgia, please let me know. I hate them. They're about like, the water bugs and the roaches to me. All right. Love you guys always. Have a great day.
I am not going to be the one to call Tony to ask for money for a cicada resort getaway for all of our listeners. I'm not going to be the guy that asks for that money. I mean,
it was hard enough. It was hard enough when we asked him during the first COVID lockdowns for a bidet a day in May. He's like, every day for the whole month, a bidet a day.
Right. Right.
So now who's going to call Tony and go, so we want to do a giveaway to a cicada free zone. What do you think?
Do you know what happened?
And I'm not sure what a cicada free zone would even be right now.
There won't be one. They're coming. They're coming for all of us. They're coming. You can't get away from them.
Some people are so freaked out over insects. I used to kill them when I was in college as an exterminator's helper. So I just never had it. The other day, and this, I don't like it when I hear women screaming, except in certain situations. But I don't like high-pitched screaming, especially from women. I'm in the other side of the house. Madison is in the back TV room with Mary and the dogs. And I'm not going to try to replicate it completely, but it's like, the two of them just screaming. And I went, oh my God, an animal got into the house, or there's a crazy man in the house. I go running back. There's one bug walking across the floor. And of course, and they're screaming, Bob, Bob, Bob. And I come in and I get rid of the bug. And I just go, do you know how upset I am right now? I thought something awful was happening back here. And it was you two.
The people, because it's Brood X, and then what's the other brood, Lamar, that's coming? Because it's been all over.
13 and Brood 19.
Yeah, it's been all over social media.
Oh, they coming.
They coming. I've seen people talk about, if you deep fry them or roast them, they're really delicious. And my dog loves to eat them. I know the day could come.
What is it?
I know the day could come where we would have to eat and roast cicadas. And you think that would never happen to you, but I promise you, the human instinct to survive is strong. And if civilization collapsed and all you had was a cicada, buddy, you'd eat it with relish. But
literally with relish. Yeah,
literally, which is the only, by the way, that's the only way you could even eat relish is if there was a cicada involved, because that stuff's nasty.
That's true.
But to just go out and fish one off the driveway for funsies, no.
More cicadas, Madison? No. Okay.
$1 million
Yeah.
per acre.
Use the Talk Back feature on the free Bob and Sheri app and leave us a message.
You want to call the show? We turn the phones on and leave them on 24/7, which is a joy for Max at 844-52-SHERI. Or you can grab our app. It's free in Google Play and the Apple Store. And just tap the little microphone in the center bottom of the screen and talk, and the app will do the rest.
Hey, Bob and Sheri and the whole crew. Love your show. Been listening since 2007. The other day, you guys were talking about the first movie you saw that was rated R. And my first movie, I believe I was probably 5 or 6 years old, was Major League. My mom was out of town, so my dad decided to let me watch that. And I eventually became obsessed with Charlie Sheen and the song Wild Thing. And my mom could not figure it out why. And then one day when I was singing Wild Thing again, she's like, "Where did you hear that?" And I said, "Oh, I watched Major League." And she said, "When did you watch Major League?" And I said, "With Dad." And she freaked out. It was hilarious. My dad got in huge trouble for that. But yes, that was my first rated R movie, and I totally remember it. All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Wasn't that the movie that there was a scene between Willie Nelson and the blonde bombshell from that period, Jenny McCarthy, wasn't there? And there was, I can't really tell you what the conversation was, but it was definitely not appropriate for, a middle school girl. Do you remember?
I haven't seen. Lamar might. I haven't seen Major League in so long.
Major League didn't have Willie Nelson.
I don't think so. No,
it didn't have it. Okay, all right. I guess I'm thinking of it.
It had Wesley Snipes and it had Charlie Sheen and Tom Berenger.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
I think I've seen more baseball played in movies than I've seen baseball played as a game in real life when I sit here and think about it. Because there are some baseball movies like Bull Durham and Field of Dreams that you will just watch over and over again. The Natural, like if I'm popping channels and one of those movies is on, I'm like, oh yeah, I like a baseball movie. But to go to a baseball game, because they last roughly maybe 2.5 years or so, they're so long to watch a baseball game.
They've shortened them.
Yeah, Max is right. They have shortened them. That is the hardest topic to get made in Hollywood, by the way, or one of the hardest topics to get made as a film.
Baseball
movie. Yeah, because Allie, my daughter Allie, when she was in college, somehow snared this internship in Los Angeles with a film production company. I think it was Fox. And she was right near the executive offices, and they were all very nice. Most of the time she was going out to get coffee and filing and that sort of thing. But they ask everybody in their office and on their staff, come up with one pitch. What would you like to see made into a movie? And she couldn't come up with anything, so she called me. And I said, tell them I was just finishing a biography of Mickey Mantle, who had a very troubled life. I mean, he came from nothing in Oklahoma. He becomes the biggest athlete in the world, but he struggles with being a father. He wasn't a really good father. He's cheating on his wife. I mean, and then alcoholism, severe alcoholism. And I said, it's a real drama. And so she pitched it, and they said, yeah, I don't think so. Baseball movies just don't sell. And I said, go back in there and tell. It's not about baseball. It's about a guy and what he was as a father and a star at the same time, and how he got together with his kid later in life and all. And they just didn't want anything to do with it.
How can they say baseball movies don't sell? I feel like The Bad News Bears was a hit. I know Field of Dreams was a hit. And Major League and The Natural and Bull Durham. And I know I'm missing about 1,000 baseball movies here. Like, how can they say that?
Because there are hundreds of movies that are released a year, and you're talking about a few movies that were made over decades. There's just not a ton of them. And a lot of those movies, like Bad News Bears, is that
each
really
one of them memorable, but there's not a bunch.
Yeah. I mean, that's about kids more than anything else. And Field of Dreams it's almost sci-fi,
I mean, The Sandlot, like I guess what I hear what you're saying. These are movies where baseball is a metaphor or baseball's
Yeah.
running in the background. Although I felt very strongly that Bull Durham, while it was a love story, was also very much about baseball. Like they did spend a lot of time playing baseball in that movie. In Major League, I feel like the whole thing was on a baseball field. But no, I hear you. I never thought about it until today that most of the baseball I've watched in my life has been in a movie.